Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. I'd like to welcome everybody to This Week in Prophecy. We got a map of southern Turkey, northern Syria. Here is the border. And specifically, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Quake update. And we're going to be taking a look initially here at the Ataturk Dam. And this is the third largest dam on the planet. And it's right in the heart of where all these earthquakes have been happening. We'll take a look at that. So here's and now I've messed it up. I'll get back to it. There it is, right there. There's the Ataturk Dam. So it's all been happening north and to the west of the Ataturk Dam. So in this edition, we're going to take a look at the Ataturk Dam. Russia invites Iran into Syria and Turkey relations. Iranian drone plant in Russia. Lebanon devalues currency. And Italy suffered a nationwide internet outage. So pretty much after 130 plus aftershocks and counting, two devastating earthquakes of 7.5 and 7.8 magnitude, the Ataturk Dam on the Euphrates has multiple cracks, and experts have expressed concern and warning. And this is a report out of Athens News in Greece. There are many cracks in the dam after strong earthquakes. Turkish professor of seismology, Dr. Nasi Goryur, I appeal to stakeholders, check the dams in the region. Here's a link to the article. We're going to take a look at this. And again, this is out of the Athens News in Greece. There's a picture of the dam. And this is from one person they quoted, Islamic terrorist. I don't know what that's all about. Multiple cracks in the Ataturk Dam after the massive earthquakes. Nearby area are being vacated. They say spell vacant. Experts warn that the dam may break anytime and flood may impact 30 square kilometers. That's just bogus. It's way bigger than that. Ataturk Dam should be controlled. And here's the professor of seismology, Dr. Goryur. Appeal to stakeholders, check the dams in the region. Also, the Medonki Lake Dam in Afrin. I'll go show you this one. This is obviously a much smaller. That's this little lake right here. If you follow the cursor, here's Afrin. And the dam is right here in this region. But the big one's right up here. Again, third largest dam on the planet. So here's some just bits and pieces about the Ataturk Dam. Again, it dams up the Euphrates River. It's 554 feet in height. It is almost 6,000 feet in length, so it's almost a mile long. It creates the Ataturk Reservoir, or Ataturk Lake. This is crazy. Capacity, 48.7 billion cubic meters. That's just mind-numbing. And a surface area of 315 square miles. I mean, if this thing goes, we are talking crazy amounts of water going down the Euphrates River Valley. Now, I know prophetically, in the end time scenario, the Euphrates River goes dry. Well, one thing that could happen, all this water could be released, and it would make that that phenomena happen much easier. And that's the one thing too, as we watch these things unfold and we know what the end times scenario says about some of these things. I'm going to shift over here to a wider scope of the Euphrates River and just follow the cursor. We know what the scripture says is going to happen. Now, the one thing we don't know are all the twists and all the turns of how it's going to play out. And this is up near the headwaters of the Euphrates River. And if you take, 315 what was that? 315 square miles of lake surface area, and you take all that water away. That's a lot of water that's being stored up, and if it's gone and down the river um, into the Persian Gulf, it makes that thing pretty easy to dry up. And that's also part of a system. I think they want to build up to 30 dams. I think they have around 15 right now. But you got all kinds of water that's dammed up on the Euphrates and the Tigris River, for that matter. So, interesting thing to watch. And again, we know the Euphrates River dries from Revelation, and it's also stated in the Old Testament. Drawing a blank on where that is right now, but it does report that the Nile and the Euphrates River go dry in the end times scenario. I know Isaiah talks about that on the Nile. Isaiah 19, I believe. But anyway, generates electricity, capacity 2,400 megawatts, annual generation of 8,900 gigawatts. I mean, that's a crazy amount. 1 gigawatt's equal to, I think, a billion watts. One gigawatt equals 1 billion watts. So I mean, it's a crazy amount of electricity. And I want to say, what was it? 1 gigawatt will do 750,000 houses or something. So, or maybe it was this plant has the ability to generate. It's a lot of electricity. And the point of that's not to get into that, but just to give you some ideas about how much water, how much electricity is generated, how big this thing is, give you a little scope and scale with that. And if you want to dig into that deeper, I've got a link from Wikipedia. For those of you who want to take a deep dive into the Ataturk Dam, you can find that there. As of right now, there have been 138 quakes and counting of 2.5 magnitude since the big events of the two big earthquakes. We can take a look at that real quick. So you can see where all this is taking place. One thing I saw this today. This was kind of interesting. Now, granted, it's small, and I don't want this to get lost, but there was one that, what was that? What was the size of this one? This is in Israel. 4.1. Right smack in the middle of the heart of the West Bank near Shechem. Nablus, Shechem. Read about that in the Bible. But they had an earthquake down there. Now, obviously not anything in comparison to what these folks are experiencing up here in Turkey and northern Syria. And this is the one that really kind of started all of it. This was the one on the Iranian-Turkish border that happened about a week ago. And there were several hundred people who were killed in that one. And we got a live update on, pictures and more video coming in. Quake told now, well, they just updated this 3 minutes ago. 7,900 people reportedly have passed from the damage due to the quakes. Literally thousands of buildings are collapsing. It's like with every little aftershock, you just see these buildings start falling down. You see some of the drone video going over the tops of these cities. I mean, it's over the top. Like CNN, I pulled CNN. I know a lot of us have been real skeptical of CNN in the past, but they are making a pretty good faith effort to try to get back to reporting some facts and news and events and getting away from spin, commentary, analysis, if you will. Thousands of buildings collapsed in both countries, specifically worried about northwestern Syria, where more than 4 million people, these are all the refugees trying to get out of Syria. 4 million people are up here in the northwest corner of Syria. And that's like I think this is that's where all this is happening. And these areas have just been crushed because of the quakes. It's like adding insult to injury. Also, we got some freezing weather conditions. Snow is falling in the area. Freezing temperatures. Quake, one of the strongest to hit the region in more than 100 years. Gives the specs on when and where it happened. Let's see if they've got some other things. Turkey, at least almost 5,900 people have passed, approaching 35,000 injured in Turkey alone. And that doesn't say anything in regards to what's taking place in Syria. So plenty going on. Again, here's the link to the CNN website. They've been updating this about every 15 to 20 minutes as information comes out. And before we get into Russia and Iran have been really busy this week. This is kind of the backdrop. These things have been taking place as well in and around the events related to the earthquake. And just, for those of you who are new to the website, the idea is looking at modern day events through the lens of the Bible and prophecy. And so this is a very significant area in the end time scenario and prophecy. Isaiah 17, burden of Damascus, also talks this highway from the border up here in Syria, Turkey. Coming down this highway is essentially Jeremiah 49, ends in the destruction of Damascus. The Euphrates River, kind of where it all began in the Garden of Eden, and we have information regarding that. Euphrates River goes dry in the end time scenario in Revelation. We have massive earthquakes to the point that mountains are no more on a global scale. I know that sounds over the top. We covered that on the last post with quakes in various places, but it says that, and it's all over the Bible. Just dig around and look for it. Scripture references are presented from the last post. And then, you have Ezekiel 38 and 39, where it talks about an invasion by Russia associated with Turkey and Iran. Makes you wonder if this event is going to galvanize these countries to get them to come together to support Turkey. And maybe that's part of it too. A damaged Turkey turns to these two countries for assistance, and they're going to get in on the party because they're going to invade. They're going to want to try to invade Israel. Come right down this highway, most likely. It says they're going to enter from the north in the mountains. Well, here's Mount Hermon, Golan Heights. That's where the mountains are in Israel in the north, and they're going to enter through the north, and then on the east of the West Bank in Jordan. So, all this whole area is in play, and that's why we're paying attention to it. Now, I know some of you may think, oh, it's just a little book of stories. I'm not going to believe that. That's fine. I will tell you what it says. And you can see these countries are coming together, and Russia this week announces agreement to incorporate Iran in the process of normalization of relations between Turkey and Syria. So I'll go back and read the quote. This is from Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, announced Iran will be involved in the peace process between Syria and Turkey. And I quote from Lavrov, both Russia, Iran, and Turkey are part of the Astana trio, which is engaged in the Syrian settlement. Therefore, I consider it absolutely logical that additional contacts dedicated to promoting the normalization of Turkish-Syrian relations should be accompanied by Russia and Iran. So on the surface, you got Syria's President Assad. Now, he has been supported by Putin in Russia and by Iran throughout the whole thing. The issue has been Erdogan, President Erdogan out of Turkey. He is not a big fan of Assad. Well, now he's willing to reconsider. Assad or Erdogan had wanted Assad out. Russia and Iran want Assad in, and it looks like Russia and Iran are ultimately going to get their way, and this has to do with the free flow of gas and oil. And is what they would love to have happen is that this would be the border, Iranian border. Love to have like a corridor, pipeline corridor, just coming across this area to be able to distribute oil and gas to the west through the Mediterranean Sea without having to go all the way down through the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and back up through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, I believe. Yeah, right through here. So it just makes sense economically for Russia, Iran to get this done so where the oil just flows straight to the west across a pipeline instead of have to ship it around the Arabian Peninsula. And bigger picture, we've taken oil and gas in the west. They could just come straight across instead of go all the way around Africa to come back up. I don't know they're going to be taking on much of their gas moving forward. Little sidebar, but you got the group getting together, and Russia and Iran are strengthening ties. They are looking to get stronger. I mean, there was this announcement, as you know, that Iran had some issues with some of their production plants. Some of their drones were taken out about a week ago. Now, this was agreed upon back in 2022, I think November of 2022. Moscow, Tehran advanced plans. They advanced them for Iranian drone facility in Russia. Now, that got advanced because Iranian capability was taken out, allegedly, by Israel. Allegedly. And they think they can manufacture about 6,000 of these Iranian-designed drones for use by Russia in Ukraine. Russia and Iran are going forward with their joint plans to build an Iranian drone manufacturing plant in Russia. And this is per the Wall Street Journal. And again, this was agreed upon in November of 22. But let's move it to Russia. Also, hopefully try to reduce the risk of getting these drones taken out by Israel and their drone technology. That's kind of the thinking with that. And Iran was busy today, too. They announced an underground airport, essentially like an air base. Like they have a bunch of their planes now stored underground. They think they're safe from bombs. They were showing, us Americans trying to bomb this underground air base. Well, these Iranian jets that were purchased from Russia are safe underneath a mountain. Okay, we'll see how that works. They better have multiple openings to that air base because that wouldn't be hard to blow one of those shut. I don't know if they thought about that, but hope it's well ventilated. That probably will get tested. And we're going to move from Syria, Turkey, Iran, Russia, and we're going to take a look a little bit further south down into Lebanon. And this is a theme we've been covering over the last couple of years, just hyperinflation in Lebanon. Currency's out of control, spiraling out of control. They're short on food. Their currency is going to be devalued by 90%. Just going to take 90% off the value of it. Hyperinflation, get prices back down, get their currency back down to where they can pay some things as they see it. Don't think that's going to work, but just to give you an idea, money exchange vendor holds Lebanese pound banknotes. Okay. I'm told this long fingernail means he does not do hard manual labor. He's a thinking man. Okay. And lastly, take a look at, this is from Zero Hedge. This happened on the 5th, 2 days ago, Sunday. Italy hit with nationwide internet outage. Now, they did get it back up later in the day, but the internet was out all across the entire nation of Italy. Didn't spill into other countries, but you had no internet services for most of the day on Sunday. And there were also reports of a global ransomware attack. So we've had a busy 3 days here on planet Earth, and specifically over there in Asia Minor, Turkey, Middle East, Eastern Mediterranean. Man, there's a lot going on. And again, keep an eye on this dam and what potentially could happen to the Euphrates River Valley. And if all of that were to break loose, look at all that water coming through this area. No bueno. Over the top. I mean, so this is legitimately one of the biggest geological events in the, probably going back to what the quake in Japan. That was what, 8.9 or so. It was pushing 9 if it didn't get there. And we've got 2 in a densely populated area of Turkey, northern Syria. Millions of people impacted. So, crazy to think. And, it's not to minimize this, but what the Bible says is coming. No more mountains, no more islands on planet Earth. Over the top stuff, but that's what it says. Now, we have no reference for anything like that, but it does say that, and it says that in multiple places. So, and that's part of the end time scenario. Arguably talks about the earth as one landmass, the broad plane of the earth as described in Revelation. And also it talks about that loosely, the face of the earth being distorted. Isaiah 20 talks about that as well. Tons of places. I've got stuff, if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can scroll over here to the right. I may have already gone past it. Hang on just a second. Yeah, I did. Millennial Kingdom. I've got some stuff written in the Millennial Kingdom in regards to the geographical changes coming to planet Earth. So if you're interested in that, click on Millennial Kingdom, scroll down. You can find those things in there. Many articles written about that. Also, you'll have some stuff written and scattered in and around earthquakes and volcanoes. Talks about geological change, upheaval coming to planet Earth. And again, multiple Bible verses that confirm this. It's not a one-off. It's stated in multiple places. And again, I know that sounds so over the top, but it says what it says. Says what it says. At any rate, if you feel compelled to help these people, please do your homework in regards to who the charity is, and that the money gets in the right hand, or the resources get in the right hands to actually help the people. There's a lot of scams and things out there, so pay close attention to that. Do what you can to help them out. And that's all I have. Sure, we got plenty of other things to report on at some point. That's just 3 days of what's happened since then. So if you're interested and you haven't signed up, please feel free to type in your email address right here. Hit subscribe. You'll receive a notification every time we put something out. Things were kind of quiet there for a while, but we've had a lot of events happen in about the last 3 days. So I've done a couple of updates, and we'll kind of report as the news comes to us. So appreciate you guys following along. Take care. Have a great one. Bye.